Hi guys. Cord gave out. Cord must have gave out. Did you hear that? That's a hard lick. You ever try doing that? hammering on a whole step with a slide. That ain't easy. Hello, friends. It's just old Uncle Larry checking in. I'm back home. I got back from the great state of California this afternoon. That was a really fun little trip out there. Play with those boys. San Diego was nice. We had a nice little hotel overlooking the water. It was quite nice, but it's always good to be home. Just wanted to say hello to everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. We got the Bills and the Broncos tonight. Bills -7 at home. You know what's looking good to me is the under. Apparently, on Monday Night Football, the under has been 10-1 in their last 11 games. I might go there. I might go on the under. Anybody want to do that with me? Friends, this is not a sales pitch. You guys have seen me using this slide for years now. It's called a Furious Slide titanium slide, right? This is made by a guy that lives out in Tucson. And Joe Walsh actually turned me on to these. This is what Joe uses. And I gotta tell you, I'm no Derek Trucks or anything, but I've been playing slide for a long time, and these are the best slides I have ever used. This thing is amazing. I don't know what it is. It's something about, I used to use glass, Dunlop 213s and all that. Here's the thing, this guy, Charles, that makes these slides, he's a machinist. And that's what he does for a living, but he got it, on the side project of making these. And a lot of people that have tried this wanted to buy one of these from me, but they don't make them anymore. Charles stopped because it's very expensive to make these titanium slides. And it's very time consuming and all that stuff. But I had a little drink with him when I was out in San Diego. And I said, man, what would it take to gear up the old company again and make some more of these? He said, man, I don't know. I'll have to find out what kind of costs I can get on stuff. But these are expensive. But I was just wondering if you guys thought, because he was selling these for $80 a piece, and he couldn't keep them on the shelves, and I was just wondering if you thought, $80 to $100 for a slide, the best slide you ever have, would be too much money. Because I thought about maybe throwing the dough to him to sort of get going again. And make like 400 more we talked about. And just seeing if you guys would be into something like that. He said he could actually like engrave them, serial numbers, put your name on them and stuff. And these are like, I'm not trying to sell you nothing, guys. I'm telling you, man, these are the best slides I have ever tried. They're amazing. And you can't get them anymore. And I just thought maybe the homeschoolers would like some of those. Look him up, because he said he sold about 800 of them, and a lot of celebrity guitar players have used them. Furious Slides, look him up. Anyway, that's not a sales pitch. That's more of a getting the feelers out to see if you guys would be into something like that. That's all I'm saying. It was great to see all my friends out there in San Diego, man. It was great to play with those guys, and great to see Joe. And man, we were a little rusty. I'm going to be honest. We didn't get much time to rehearse, and it was late. By the time we got up on stage, it was after 10 o'clock. And you know, the crowd was tired and they were, you know, they were cold. I was cold too. It was cold out there, and we couldn't quite get it cranking very like we wanted to, but we still had fun. And I think if we would have had a little more time to rehearse, we could have got it together. But man, it was just great to see those guys and all that. You know, Nathan East. I almost did an interview with Nathan. He wanted to do it, but we ran out of time. I'm gonna get him on the show. You guys could. I mean, I have a feeling he's kind of like Joe Vitale in the sense that there's a lot of shit that he's done that we don't even know about. I mean, he played with Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel and all my guys, you know. I can't wait to get some stories from him. Sweet guy. Anyway, I got a few things in the VCB. A lot of comments about the hotel room video I put up playing this guitar where I was playing through that little practice amp, playing some blues licks that I don't need anymore. Because I've used them all up. But you know, sometimes Larry goes on a rants. I just keep alienating a little more and more of my people every time I say I don't like something. And by the time I eventually get it all out, there'll be like 2 guys left watching the channel. But remember back when it started with the jazz chords, when everybody hated me because I said I didn't like traditional, you know, Guitar Center jazz chords. Remember that? And then I said I didn't like sports bar blues, and that pissed off a lot of people. And then I said I just talked about how I don't really like the big wide 80s hairband vibrato, and that pissed a lot of people off. But I think a lot of people kind of were with me on that too. But you know, the one guy said, "Does that mean you don't like Paul Kossoff?" And I'm like, I don't consider him to be that kind of guy at all. To me, Paul Kossoff is like Homo erectus. I think that's what it is. Like the first man, caveman of guitar. So primitive and so crude. It's awesome, you know. Just squeezing every bit of juice he could out of that old Les Paul into those loud ass Marshalls, you know, with no pedals or no help from anything. Very primitive, caveman sort of approach, and I appreciate that. He's got wide vibrato, but it's not that. It doesn't sound like that 80s hairband thing. It's more like just a guy fighting for his life, you know. That's what it sounds like to me, and I appreciate that. I mean, I like the sound of a guy trying to fight his way out of a plastic bag, you know. That's what it sounds like, you know. All right, I got a lick for you. It's gonna be a little brain teaser. See if you can play this. Hold the pick and tuck it away, like, you know, if you're trying to work on the Uncle Larry hybrid style of picking, where you got a pick tucked, and try going like this. So you're playing with your, you know, thumb, index, middle ring, right? E minor, G, A sus, C. You just slide it up. The first chord is actually an E minor 7, sorry, with the open D and G strings. That's a hard one, to get that going with the timing and then get those fingers all moving just right. Put a little verb on that, make it nice. Yeah, I was just thinking the whole time I was playing the other night on that gig how much I love this guitar. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I do everything backwards. See, I can probably save you guys a lot of time. See, my whole thing was like I wanted to get the coolest, raddest amps, great old Marshalls, great old Tweeds and stuff like that. And it, it's easy to get great sounds with those amps. But what ends up happening is when you got to do an actual gig, you're going to play through a 65 Deluxe reverb rental. So why not just work everything around that? Because that's what you're going to be using anyway. Unless you're in some famous band that's got their own tour bus and you can afford to drag your own gear around, which is pretty rare. I mean, it happens occasionally, but most of us are kind of at the mercy of I call them Deluxe Rentverbs. 65 Deluxe Rentverb. That's the amp that everybody orders when you need a backline rental, and that's what you're going to be playing through. So you might as well get your pedals and your guitar cooking through that, right? And I was thinking about that the other night. I was thinking about like this guitar, these pickups in these tones and volumes, the amount of sounds I'm able to get out of this guitar on a live gig just blows my mind. I mean, every time, like the little conversations I'm having with the guitar while I'm playing, I just wish it would do a little more of this. Every time I go to do something, it's right there, man. This guitar just brings it. You want a little more treble, you turn that up. You want a little less of this. It's like a pedal board built into the guitar. I'm telling you, man, the expressiveness of these volume and tones with the treble bleed cap I didn't just say that. It's amazing. And like I was just thinking, the expressiveness, I wish I would have, been using these all along. And I'm not saying this is the ultimate studio guitar, but I'm just saying on a live gig, man, this is good for me. It's working out for me. And I was using that new pedal that those guys made, that Citadel pedal, which is sounding really great to me, with the original stuff that I always had, the little mini board. And I was like loving it, loving the sound I was getting through these rental amps. And I was thinking, man, why didn't I just do that all along? Just design the shit to work with those amps, because that's what you're going to be playing anyway. You can't always afford to drag your narrow panel Tweed Deluxes and Plexi Marshalls on the road, So I say just bite the bullet, get the 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue for $600 or whatever they cost, and just develop your sound through that, because that's what you're going to use anyway. It makes sense to me, but I had to learn that the hard way at age 54. It hit me all of a sudden. That's a pretty good idea, Tom. I'm the last guy to figure out everything, people. So, stay with me here. I'm a bit of a late bloomer. A couple more things. I got some fun sessions this week. I'm playing some session with my old buddy Wade Bowen, who's like a Texas country music artist. And he said, man, who do you want to get on the other guitar? And I said, man, would you be cool with bringing a guy into town? And he was like, yeah. So we got Duke Levine coming in from Boston to help play. I'm very excited about that. My old buddy, Wade was cool about, paying for his room, his flights and everything to get him in. So I'll try to put up a couple videos of just us goofing around in the studio. That'll be great, because I know you guys all love Duke, and so do I. He's a bad, bad boy. Deluxe Rentverb. All right, friends, have a great night. Bet the under, and I'll see you at the bank. All right, bye-bye.